Hello and welcome back to the Prosperity by Design podcast. I'm your host, Fallon, like Jimmy Fallon, but it's my first name. All right, so I'm going to come to you today with a second money episode. And this money episode, I'm so fucking I am just jazzed up right now, just lit the fuck up because something amazing happened today. I've only been trying to get this to happen for like the past 2 or 3 months now. Actually, my original application was sent out in like 2021. So I've been on and off going about this one particular thing for the last 2 years or so now. And I'm so fucking excited because today it finally went through. So I am going to be coming to you with a little bit about my debt story. And it's not going to be the whole debt story. It's mostly going to be like zooming into the last 2 or 3 months of this year. I want to say it was like the end of May, beginning of June, and now we're in the beginning of August, like close to mid-August right now. So like really zooming into this summer of 2023 because there has been like, obviously I've had debt for longer than that, but I feel like I've been making so many strides in my debt journey in this summer in particular, and I really want to share some of the awesome things that have been going on, what I've been learning, and like just in general how you can even start to use this if you are in this much debt yourself. So just to give a general overview, I started this year off with like $42,000 to $43,000 in high interest credit card debt. Okay. I am talking like 28% APR on some of my credit cards. I think my lowest credit card percent is, I want to say 18% interest. So like I have been struggling with the amount of interest that has been on the principal of some of the amounts on these cards. So I really started off this year in like not too good of a place and in terms of credit card debt. And I was like, I am determined to make something happen this year. And so fast forward to May of 2023, and because I had been coaching crew, I had a lot of money to be able to put towards my debt. And I was actually at one point able to pay off one card completely. I have since decided to put some money onto that card, but it's not like the other cards where they're like very close to being maxed out. It's like $300. So I always say I could sneeze $300, which I kind of can. So that aside, a lot of the other cards that I have these high interest rates, 28%, 24%, the lowest one that I have is 18%. And so it's been really difficult to be able to pay down some of the debt on these cards because of those high interest rates, along with the fact that I have also been, going through a lot in terms of my medical debt and the health insurance as well that's on top of all of this, okay? So just to give you a little background, I had been taking Penelope to the doctor for, her well visits, and I wound up getting a bill for like $4,000. I was like, no, this isn't right. I have insurance for her. You have to run it through the insurance. They're like, no, we ran it through your insurance. They don't cover it. I was like, no, you take this insurance policy. You're like, something's wrong filing the claims. And I have been going back and forth between the doctor's office, the insurance company, the broker who sold me the policy since February of 2023. It is August, okay? It has been a total of 6 months going back and forth. They finally cleared the debt. Well, it wasn't debt, but it was, money that had to get paid for all of these immunizations. And it was like $3,600. And they finally sent me a bill. It was like, oh, you only actually owe $39. I was like, yeah, that's right. So like sometimes you have to stomp your feet when it comes to these medical bills because you're gonna get, fucked up if you don't stomp your feet and say, hey, file this claim the right way, because and I know that insurance companies don't fucking do the right thing sometimes. Sometimes there are insurance companies that actually process the claims correctly, but I'm now ranting. So anyways, in terms of, so I had this $4,000 balance on top of all of it. And I was like, no way in hell. I'm like, fuck this, man. So I was stomping my feet. They wound up clearing it. So I was able to go from like $3,600 to $39. Easy peasy. Paid that off. Now, I was like saying to my friend earlier I want to say it was like mid-July to the end of July, I was like, I'm really grateful that I was able to manifest this, although I don't know that it's really manifestation, because I was like sticking to my guns on that one. I was like, no, I have the insurance policy. It has to be covered. You accept the policy, you accept this type of policy, you accept, their claims, like something is wrong, figure it out. And they were like, no. And I was like, figure it out. And I was like, I am not stopping until you figure it out. And then good thing I stuck to my guns, right? So I was able to manifest like basically $3,500 in July in like ethereal cash, right? Like I wasn't able to touch it. But the reason why I want to bring up this recent occurrence is because it has a lot to do with my credit card debt. And so something that I've been trying to do is I've been trying to consolidate my debt, because I have like 9 different credit cards that all of this is spread out across right now. And I've been trying to consolidate onto a personal loan so that I can have a lower interest rate and I can have one place to pay everything off, instead of having to like pay 9 different cards and pay well over $1,500 a month in minimums and all this other BS, right? So I was like, there's when there's a will, there's a way. And so I have been applying for a personal loan. I actually started in 2021, like I said earlier in this episode, but I have been applying regularly since the beginning of this summer in 2023. And so today I got the email in my inbox again. It was like, oh, you have outstanding approval odds on, getting a personal loan. I was like, that's what you said last time, so let's check and see. So I checked in and I filled out the application to see if I got approved, or I would get approved today. And today I got approved. And I was like, this is exactly what I have been talking about, manifesting the tangible cash to be able to pay off these cards. Now, don't get me wrong, I have to pay off the loan, but it's not like I'm getting charged like through the nose on interest rates. My interest is being cut from 28% down to like 14%. So it's literally half of what I'm paying on interest already. Not only that, I'm going to be able to consolidate. So I'll have one place to pay off these debts instead of 9. Okay. So I was like, hell yes. So just to give you an idea of all of this, sometimes you do take these next 3 topics, these next 3 points that I'm going to make very, very, I don't want to say literally, but take them as you can, because for so long, I'm going to go into the first point here. For so long, people were telling me, oh, just do a balance transfer on your credit cards. Just do a balance transfer to a 0% card. It'll be easy. But if you want to get a balance transfer to a card that has 0% APR, the assumption is that you're going to get approved for a credit card. And in certain cases, until your credit is up enough, you're not going to get approved for a credit card. And that was the case for me all of 2020, all of 2021, 2022, and for the first 6 months of 2023. Just recently, I was able to open 2 credit cards, but they're low balances, okay? Like the credit limit is only $1,000 or so, and they're at 0% APR for, 15, 18 months, okay? But I had to get my credit into a better place before I could get approved for the 0% chart, like the 0% card with a 0% balance transfer. So one thing that I want to really stress to you on this episode is that yes, balance transfers can work, but you have to make sure, this is number 2, you have to make sure that your credit's in a good place. That means making payments on time. That means not using so much of your available credit limit. That means making sure that you're not opening a zillion accounts at a time, right? Just recently, because I've been filing for all of these, credit cards and this personal loan, my credit has taken a little bit of a dip, but because I'm making regular payments and because my available credit is going up and my credit usage is going down, I have been able to get approved for these offers. So number one, balance transfers can work if you are able to. Number two, pay attention to your credit. You have to be taking care of your credit. You have to be taking the right steps to get yourself into a good place. So that's going to bring me to the third topic here, which is like, stick to your guns. Okay. I have been like juggling this credit card debt for quite a while, obviously. And on top of it all, I've had all of this health insurance debacle and credit card debt. Medical, payments that have to get paid. So it's really important that you stick to your guns on certain things, and you'll know intuitively what things to stick to and what things to kind of let go of. And just to give you another story example here, I have one hospital bill that is in a collections agency, and not all collections agencies are the same. Different episode for a different day. But my point here is, I was like, I want to talk to a supervisor because there is something here that the supervisor knows of that you do not know of. So I want to talk to your supervisor. And had I not spoken to the supervisor, I wouldn't have gotten instruction to do something that would actually help me in terms of making my medical payments. So like, stick to your guns on certain things. And like, yeah, okay, that guy that I was talking to before I spoke to the supervisor, he gave me a really hard time. He was like, ma'am, I'm explaining it to you the way that it works. I was like, listen, I get it. I still want to talk to somebody because there's got to be something here, because it's not like I'm not paying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still making payments and I'm in good standing, and like, this is fucking ridiculous if you're not willing to work with me. I'm willing to work with you, but it's not the other way around. You want your money, but I can't have mine. Like, no, that's not how this works, okay? Everybody wants their money, but you want to know what? You got to be willing to do a little bit of a dance between the give and the take, okay? So that's like, sometimes sticking to your guns is like needed. So don't be afraid to stick to your guns sometimes if you absolutely are in a little bit of a bind, or if you know intuitively, like even the insurance, right? Like, if you know the insurance is supposed to be covering these things, I know without a shadow of a doubt that they're supposed to be covering the immunizations, stick to it, because like, when you know, it's so fucking vague, and I wish that I had a more specific way of explaining it, but like, there are exact instances, like when they sent me these bills for like $3,600, I was like, no, that is not right. This is not correct, because I have this insurance policy. You accept the policy in your office, and you're still telling me that I have to pay this much money? Fuck that. No. And don't get me wrong, like, of course there are going to be things that I can file for all this in my taxes, but it's not like I'm going to get every single penny back. When you go to file your taxes, if you have, I think last year, I'm just going to use round numbers, and they're not exact numbers, so like, just don't take it completely at face value, okay? Because I'm going to round off so that the math is easier. I want to say that last year I maybe paid $24,000 out of my pocket for health insurance, medical fees, eye exams, like all this other stuff, glasses, prescriptions, whatever, between the blood work that I had to have paid for Penelope and like all of those things combined, I probably paid $24,000 towards medical, like, as a whole. And when you go to file your taxes, you're not going to get $24,000 back. Like, I saw maybe $500, and I don't even know that might be lowballing it. I might have seen a little bit more, but it's not like I got $24,000 back. Like, all of that money, $24,000 came out of my pocket. It did not come from a company. It did not come from a business. It came out of my wallet. Okay. So when you go to file on your taxes for something like that, then yeah, there is a little bit of a return, but it's not like you're getting all $24,000 back. So sometimes you just got to stick to your guns, and like, yeah, okay, when you go to file, then you'll be able to get some of it back, but it's not like you're going to be able to get all of it, which is why you want to stick to your guns, because you want to try and get the insurance that you're paying for to cover everything that it possibly can. So all of that to say, this episode was a little, scattered, a little spacey, but I think all in all, those 3 topics and those couple of stories that I was telling you about the debt are some really powerful ones for you to incorporate if you have not incorporated these steps yourself, and if you are in this, type of situation yourself. So I hope you took this very, very positively. I am actually getting ready for a lunch right now, but I still want to talk to you about the Seasons of Business membership. The Seasons of Business membership is like my fucking love child. I love it. I cannot wait for it to be live in September. September 1st is going to be the day that I make it like go time. And if you are interested, the link is down in the show notes of this podcast, number 1. Number 2, don't forget to leave a review for the podcast. If you are one of the first 50 who leave a review on the podcast, then I will be shipping you a goodie box. Please keep in mind that the review I have to be able to see it on Apple Podcasts. Hold on.